Hey, John Morris here from johnmorrisonline.com. Welcome back to another episode of the John Morris Show. So today I'm going to be sharing with you something called the iPhone principle. It's a marketing principle that can help you to charge more for your services and get more clients. Now, before we get in, if you like the episode, be sure to gently caress that like button. I don't want you ruining your phone or your computer. And if you're new and want a steady stream of freelancing tips and insights delivered straight to your phone, tablet, or computer, then be sure to subscribe as well. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and jump in. So it's one of the biggest reasons, actually, that the biggest freelancing and marketing insights that I get, I get them from books, TV shows, movies, etc., that are outside the freelance or marketing niches, because a lot of the niche specific stuff is just kind of regurgitated nonsense. There's very little original thinking in my experience with it. So a YouTuber finds a popular blog post and makes a video with virtually the same information, or a blogger finds a popular video and writes a blog post with virtually the same information, and round and round and round it goes. And a lot of times it's all from people who have little to no experience actually doing the thing that they're teaching. It's all about clicks and search, keyword research, and so on. And look, it's whatever. They can do what they want. More power to them. I even respect the hustle a little bit. But none of the things that I just mentioned are the hallmark of original thought and original ideas. And my personal biggest breakthroughs have come from outside the box ideas and principles, not any of the 1,037 steps to or the one weird trick to blog posts or YouTube videos that you're going to find. But I digress. Anyway, one such outside the box principle is what's called the iPhone principles. And there's so many uses for it, from making the service you offer stand out in stark contrast compared to your competitors, charging much more, garnering much deeper loyalty from existing clients, getting highly qualified referrals, and on and on and on. Now, I didn't develop this principle, but once I discovered it, I started using it in everything that I did. It's how I was able to leverage the project I did with Michael Hyatt to land even more high-profile clients. And I believe, had I not understood this principle, that project, it would still been a nice feather in my cap, but it likely wouldn't have led to much direct client work like it ultimately ended up doing. It's also the main strategy used by ClickFunnels to grow their software company to over $100 million a year in annual revenue in just a few years, which they are where I discovered this principle. I even use it to help sell my house when I decided to retire, quote unquote, to the Ozarks, and we ended up having a bidding war on the house and sold it for $10,000 over the list price. It's also the open secret to how popular super affiliates promote their affiliate offers during big product launches, earning them huge 6- and 7-figure paydays. Hell, I've talked about Ben Settle before here. If you're a Ben Settle acolyte, he's doing it right now on his email list for one of his launches. So it's how the big boys and girls, they move the needle in their businesses. But you're going to hear almost nobody in the freelance space talk about it, even though it can help you get hired a lot more and charge the kind of fees you kind of always secretly have wanted to. That said, it's not for everybody. There's no 7 steps to or step-by-step blueprint or roadmap or system or any of that stuff. It's a concept, and it can be applied in all kinds of ways. Figuring out what ways is going to be unique to you, your business, and your market. It's not just some template that you can slam down and mindlessly use without any thought or tailoring it to your specific situation. And frankly, a lot of that stuff doesn't work anyway because it ignores context. It ignores the relevance to you, your business, your market, their wants and needs, etc. Ultimately, though, what it's about is increasing the perceived value of what you offer, how to get potential clients to see your services as more valuable. And then you can use that to either get more clients, charge more, stand out from competitors, however you want, really. You can use it in a multitude of ways. If skill is the foundation of doing a good job and making clients happy, which is a critical part of being successful as a freelancer, right? Making clients happy, getting them to talk about you. That's really important. If skill is the foundation of that, then perceived value and understanding how to increase it is the foundation of demonstrating that skill to someone who hasn't hired you yet, and getting potential clients to see how good you are and make them want to hire you and be willing to pay the fees that you're charging. And no, It's not any of the How Steve Jobs or 4 Key Strategies or Apple Marketing 101 or any of the stuff that you're going to find if you go looking online. I'm sure some of that stuff is just fine, but that's not what this is. So that begs the question, what is it then? So let me get into this. So imagine that you're selling an iPhone. Now, by itself, your iPhone that you're selling, let's say you're putting on Facebook Marketplace, it's like any other iPhone. There's maybe a little something to be said about what kind of condition it's in, but for the most part, it's not anything special. It's just an iPhone. And you can find 100 or 1,000 other iPhones for sale that are just like it. It doesn't stand out. It won't command a higher price. It won't generate a ton of buzz. It's a commodity. It's just an iPhone. And the only way to really compete with everybody else when you're selling a commodity like that is on price. Now, does that sound a little bit familiar? Because that's exactly how lots of freelancers market their services. They offer the same service as everybody else. They include the same features in their services. They use the same language when talking about their services. Hell, a lot of freelancers quote unquote model, which is really just code for they copy their services, their website, their profile. They just copy it off of other freelancers, which is fine when you're getting started. It's a start, right? That's a place to start. But how do you expect to stand out if everything you offer, everything you say is just like everyone else? You won't. So you have to do more. You have to be different. So let's imagine then that you realize that and you decide to make your iPhone special. So let's say that yours came with an OtterBox case or whatever case appeals to you. Let's say it comes with the case. Now, normally that case, an OtterBox might cost $50 or $70 or $100, whatever they cost these days. But you're going to include it with the phone. So people are going to get that when they buy your iPhone. Let's say you're also going to throw in your Apple AirPods. Maybe you're switching to Android. You won't need the AirPods anymore. So you're going to throw them in when someone buys your iPhone. Again, those normally would run for a couple $100, but you're just going to throw them in. Then let's say your iPhone is loaded with your entire music library, over 1,000 songs that you've purchased that will be on the phone waiting for the new buyer. It's also going to include your collection of over 100 movies that they're going to get when they buy your iPhone. Heck, if it were me, maybe I'd include my entire library of online courses free on the phone. If you do that, now your iPhone is different. It's not just like every other iPhone. It has things on it or included with it that other iPhones don't have. It's unique. It stands out, and people will want your specific iPhone over all the others that are out there. And they may even be willing to pay more to get it. That is the iPhone principle. It's about making people want what you offer and only what you offer, because it's unique, it's better, and it's more valuable. And with that particular iPhone, if you wanted, you could sell it at the same price as everyone else. And because people are getting a ton more with it, then it'd likely sell almost immediately. Yours would be the first iPhone that people would want to buy, so it makes it easier to sell. Or if you wanted, you could sell yours for a couple $100 more than everybody else because you've added all of this value. Now that might make it take a little bit longer to sell, but you'd have a legitimate reason why yours is more expensive, and with the right buyer, you could get your price. So that allows you to charge more, all again for an iPhone. Ultimately, what you've done is you've raised the perceived value of your specific iPhone in the mind of your prospect. You've made them want your iPhone over everybody else's, and you can use that to sell it more quickly, charge more, and so on. It's the same with your freelance services. The more you raise the perceived value, the more options you give yourself. If you're new, you'll probably want to use that increased perceived value to get hired more easily. Maybe you don't have the portfolio and maybe some of the client reviews and so forth as everyone else. And so you're not going to charge more because you have something working against you. You have a disadvantage that's working against you, and you just use this to make up for that. So you give them a bunch more, but you're charging roughly the same price. If you're new, that might be something you want to do. If you're experienced and looking to raise your rates, you could use it to charge more. So you do have the reviews, you do have the portfolio, just like everyone else. You're as good as everyone else, and now you can use this to be able to charge more than what they do and still get hired. Making clients more happy and generating more loyalty, also making them more likely to recommend you to friends and colleagues because they're so happy with everything that they got. It can be applied and used in a bunch of different ways, tailored specifically to you, your business, and your market. Now, that all probably sounds simple enough, but the real value isn't in hearing it, it's in actually doing it. And what I find is a lot of freelancers simply don't. So now that I've delivered on my promise of teaching you the iPhone principle and all of its benefits, let me say this. This is just one of several ways to increase the perceived value of your services. In fact, in my Beginner's Guide to Freelance course, I teach you 3. And this one is probably the one that takes the most thought and the most work because you have to come up with and create the add-ons that will make your service unique. There is, however, a way that doesn't require you to come up with anything or to create anything. It's simply a matter of how you position your already existing services. In fact, it's so simple, you could probably implement it in less than a day. And I dare say see an even bigger impact than what you would with the iPhone principle. Now, it's up to you if that interests you, but I teach all 3 of those methods in lesson 11 of my Beginner's Guide to Freelance course. Now, because that course is up on Skillshare, you can get it essentially free. That's because as a teacher there, I can get you an exclusive 1-month free trial of the platform. The normal trial on their website is 7 days, but again, through me, you can get a full 1-month free trial. With that, you get access to all 30,000 plus courses on the site. And if you cancel before the month is up, you never pay a penny. So do with that info what you will, but I created a video explaining the whole thing at johnmorrisonline.com/Skillshare. I will also put in a link in the description as well. All right, that's it. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next time.